think that we're live. Let's check our channels. But if you're with us, please let us know in the comments so that we'll start seeing them pop up here in the stream. Welcome everybody. We're going to be chatting about our next mastermind in a couple of minutes, but we're going to hang out for a couple of minutes to make sure that we are coming to you live across Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Twitter.
Yeah, we're live, Chase.
I see a comment. All right.
Yeah, comment, yeah.
You never know, you never know. Okay, cool. I see comments coming in. Great. Let us know from where you're joining so we can say hi while we hang out and wait for everybody to make their way over to the stream.
Let's see. We got Jordan in the house. Hey, Jordan. Jordan's one of our team members. We always like saying hi to Jordan. We got Jamie Green. We got Udit. We got Lee. Hey, Lee. Lee and her husband was at the mastermind, actually. Let's see. We've got Matt Coffee. Matt's a great friend of Chase, actually. Old buddies there. We met him at the conference as well. Julie.
Oh, you're in Facebook, so you can see the name. So on our side, we just see Facebook user.
Yeah.
Well, and some of them come through. Like one came through from. We have Mexico. You have one from Mexico, Chase. Now Mexico come through.
Yeah, there's my buddy Graham, my good friend, my old partner in my failed agency, the very first agency. Graham can tell you war stories.
Texas. I'm in Dallas, and Paulson's in Houston. So.
Yeah, we've got Georgia in the house, Bay Area, California.
Here in North Texas.
Yeah, we got Philippines, more Canadians as usual. Yes, we welcome them.
Thank you,
Portland,
Jamie.
Cape Cod. Sean Greenway. Hey, what's up, Sean? I feel like Sean's been to every mastermind so far. We're going to talk about masterminds here in a second. Dakotas, more people.
Keep it coming. We're still climbing, so people are still finding their way. So let's hang out for just another minute.
Ohio, Garland, Texas.
Oh, Chase, so we've got an important discussion here that we need to talk about. Jamie says, "Nice mustache, Chase."
It is November, so happy November, everyone.
Oh man, we got some Australians. Thank you for jumping in at 6 a.m. before the rooster woke up and joined our live here. More folks from Dallas, Ohio, South Africa. So yeah, let's. I guess we'll give it a few minutes, y'all, before we get started. And Chase, you can lead the way, man. I was just getting excited.
I just saw, if anybody knows, barbecue sauce. I just saw that clip again. It reminded me how amazing that show was. Cool. I see over 100 on the stream on our side. Another person from Belgium. That's cool. Looks like we're still okay. I think we're starting to stabilize, so we can get started in just a couple of seconds. I'm going to make sure everybody's had a chance to get here. Cool. We are recording. We will publish the recording. So if you can't make it or you jump in late, don't worry. Okay, awesome. I think we'll kick it off. So let me go ahead and share screen over here. And it's always interesting figuring out how to do this. Okay, great. There we go. All right. So we can see the screen, right? Cool. All right. And I believe I have controls over here. Awesome. So welcome to our hangout for our next mastermind. So we are here to talk about the next official high-level event on the calendar, which is the SaaSPRENEUR Mastermind in Dallas, Texas, February 7th through the 9th. So SaaSpreneurship, I'm sure you've heard us talking about it somewhere along the way. I would hope it's basically a movement that we have started, a new angle to the agency approach where you can literally turn yourself into a software provider along with a services provider, or maybe just a software provider if you want to go the pure SaaSpreneur route. And our masterminds are where we really dig into it. We take you from 0 to 1 if you're just getting started, or maybe you have an agency and you're looking to sort of run a hybrid model and incorporate this into what you're doing. We cover it all there at the mastermind. And today we're going to walk through sort of the agenda, what to expect. We're going to talk about sort of the auxiliary things that happen. But in general, I mean, Wesley, Paulson, what do you guys want to get across here as far as who should be at this event?
Well, I think it's important to understand it is quite a bit different than Summit. A lot of people obviously were at the Summit, and this is a significantly different event because this is far more an intensive. It's a workshop. It's a mastermind, kind of all in one. So that's kind of one of the biggest differences. I think it's important people understand when you look at this versus Summit and why this has been so impactful for those that have attended before and why people have attended over and over and over again. So it's been
good point. Much more hands-on. Yeah. Paulson,
Yeah.
what do you think?
Yeah, I think the biggest observation, and I'm sure both y'all agree, is, I mean, we saw, I don't know, a couple of hundred people walk across that freaking stage, this past summit, and a lot of SaaSPRENEUR award winners and affiliate award winners, and a lot of people that are doing really big things. And when I look back at every one of their journey, I can possibly pinpoint to an event that they went to. SaaSPRENEUR event with Mastermind being one of them, even other events that we have in the community. But what I see them do is get plugged in with a group of people. So like, when you come to the Mastermind, you're really coming into probably a new family that is a group of strangers. It's a little awkward at the first. Yeah, it's a little awkward in the beginning, but once you build those relationships up, I think you can climb pretty far. And it's really cool seeing, early Mastermind attendees walk across that stage. And that's a big pattern for me. And I'm sure, Chase, Wesley, y'all probably see that observation as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a great point. I think a lot of those success stories that we see on stage, those winners started at one of these events. So this will be our 4th mastermind now, I think.
Is it already?
Well,
wow.
And I don't want to underplay something Paulson said there. It does turn into it's 3 days, but by the end of those 3 days, it is a very tight-knit group of people that are all kind of working together for each other's success. That's been pretty cool, I think, to experience.
Yeah. And Chase, before you go any further, can I ask everybody a big favor? Can you tag, if you're watching, I see there's like 150 people watching. If you're watching and you came to one of the masterminds, can you tag the folks that you met at a previous mastermind? One, I want to get better engagement going on the streaming. Plus, I would like to know like the amount of networking you all do. Like I see Sean Greenway there. I see a few other familiar faces, Jeff. I see Rhonda, Jamie, like tag the folks that you've met at one of high level events. And I would love to just get an idea of that crowd in the comments. So go ahead, Chase. What can we expect today?
Let's dig into it. And we like to kick things off with okay, it's not going to work over there. Kick things off with a little hype video. So let's take a look at some of the highlights from past masterminds. That was awesome. Oh, there we go.
So awesome. We're going to play it twice.
Yeah, that was awesome. And, as you saw, a lot of those shots really emphasize the venue. So Wesley, you're from Dallas. So are you, Paulson. Tell us about the Statler's sort of famous, right?
It is famous. It has a historic hotel. And also, I think the thing that I love most about it is just the unique aspect when you're inside of it. There's a bowling alley, there's bowling lanes inside there, but also it's small enough that it makes our events. The reason why we keep coming back there time and time again is because it allows us to have these more intimate type of settings and events that it just really kind of creates that community.
Yeah, Wesley, can you talk a little bit about how big the event is? How many attendees do we really expect for some of these masterminds? And I know that has a lot to do with the venue size as well.
Yeah, and if you look at even like Summit, obviously Summit was a big event. We had 800 people there. Well, this is significantly smaller, and you probably noticed in some of those videos the room is smaller. It's really by design. We're just trying to create that environment where it's easy to network, easy to connect with others. So for our masterminds, we do limit them to about 110 tickets. So there's just not a lot of space in there to really go wide, but it's by design to try to create that unique experience for all the attendees. So we found that number to be really, really the ideal size for that engagement when everybody's there to be able to connect and bond and build new friendships and business partners.
And it makes a huge difference. The first mastermind we did, I think, was in a Westin or something. And it was, I mean, it doesn't even compare. Once we moved to the Statler, it was like, okay, this is a whole new world. The place is so cool. It's right in the center of Dallas. It's got this amazing restaurant with bowling alley, arcade games in there, which is super fun. So we end a lot of the evenings down there hanging out. It's got a speakeasy in the basement, which is so cool. Like you literally walk into like it's like a barber shop or something, and there's a phone booth
straight out of the 1930s.
And you have to punch in the right phone number to get the door to open. I mean, it's super cool. The whole thing is really well done. And the food is amazing. I feel like the food is always a highlight too. We always get fed really well at these events. So I can't say enough about the Statler. I think it's awesome. Anything to add there, Paulson?
Yeah, I think the big the grand thing that I really like about Statler is, even though it's I would say an historical location, it's very modern. The rooms are really nice. I mean, we've all stayed there plenty of times. Their suites are nice. Their restaurants are upkept. Like the staff is even better. Like they're amazing. Like you can there's people that are just going to serve you across the board. And another thing I really like about Statler is it's only like less than 10 minutes away from airports. So like it's not too far from main areas. In Dallas, by the way, it's gonna, in February, I don't think it'll be that cold, but either way, like there's a lot of things you can walk around in that pocket of downtown. It's very modernized. Plenty of bars.
Incredible barbecue right around the corner. Oh my gosh.
And it's really easy to get into, whether you fly into Love Field or DFW Airport. It's easy to get to, and it's easy to get around in the area. So,
absolutely. Yeah, two big airports, Dallas Fort Worth. Love Airport's even closer. If you can get into Love, I would definitely fly there. But yeah, incredible venue. You do want to stay at the venue. So if as soon as you get your tickets, you'll get a link from us, I believe. To get your room. So make sure you do that. I mean, Dallas is a big city, a busy city, so it often sells out. So yeah, try to get a room at the Statler so you can be a part of the whole thing start to finish. So let's talk about the schedule of events. We'll do a loose run through of the program so you have an idea of what to expect. So we like to kick it off with an introduction to SaaSpreneurship. This is a term that we coined and has been really obviously gotten legs under it and now is sort of taking off like a rocket ship. And so SaaSpreneurship is something special and unique. And we'll talk about, how we define that and how you might define that, and some of the folks that are succeeding define that. But most importantly, we'll talk about the model of SaaS in general and why it is the king of business models, which it really is. You can just look around and see every big business in the world trying to figure out their SaaS move. And we've really sort of teed it up on a platter. And as like Wesley likes to say, a business in a box opportunity that you can really just hit the streets and start making recurring revenue. And we'll also talk about what success looks like. So, you guys have mentioned a lot of the folks that you've seen in those videos that we just watched were on the stage. And, you get on the stage for having more than 100 SaaS clients minimum. So these folks have gone, a lot of them in less than a year, from 0 to 100, which is absolutely incredible to see. General thoughts on SaaSpreneurship before we move on?
Well, I think it's that combination of SaaS and entrepreneurship, right? So, and I think that's really what we try to point out is the difference in how you can create. It is a turnkey type of scenario where you have a software platform built for you, but it's that entrepreneur part of it where you can make it your own and your own specific offering.
Yeah, and reason why I think it's been taking off quite a bit is because all businesses in almost every industry is figuring out ways to create a subscription model, right? Like the other day, my wife was telling me even some of these fast and high end cars are wanting you to upgrade to a $9 subscription so you can have heated seats, which sounds ridiculous, but I'm just like, I understand why they're doing this, because the subscription models is a long-term sustaining model. And in the world of marketing, right, we don't have a software option that we can turn around and sell to our end customers before high level came into the market. And we're the first ever platform to democratize that kind of an environment where we say, hey, listen, take our name down. You don't have to keep it as high level. Put your logo on it, slap on a solution that you would like to go create your own subscription models. And we're seeing a lot of agencies now introduce a software line to their mix. And it's interesting to see, because you see different problems like churn, client acquisition, onboarding. And these are the real core things that we actually talk about in the mastermind. How can a SaaSpreneur actually launch and actually scale? And we have.
Let's carry through, because we have slides for a bunch of those different sections. So we'll check those boxes as we go. But we do start out with sort of a general overview to make sure everybody understands the magnitude of the opportunity. We'll show you stats and figures of what current SaaSpreneurs are doing. And again, we'll talk about how we reward the people on the journey with some cool stuff along the way.
And Chase, you might mention there are people on the journey at all different phases, right? We'll have people attending that are relatively new. We'll have people attending that are really experienced for the networking aspect of it. Do you want to expand a little bit on?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think maybe the slide after that one, we'll touch on it a little bit more, but this one as well. So what is SaaS mode technically? We're going to make sure that if you are just getting started, your tech is set up, right? Like your configurator is ready to rock. You're ready to take payments. Your Stripe is set up. All that stuff, we're going to have staff there. We have an open office hours. Sit down with us if you're stuck anywhere at that point in the process. And we want to make sure that by the end of the mastermind, you're literally ready to start earning money. So we will cover start to finish what SaaS mode means from a technical perspective. Make sure you've got all your ducks in a row, and then you're off to the races from there. We'll also do a session on those folks that are maybe, I don't want to say ahead, but are already traditional agencies, right? You're already working with clients, selling services. But maybe you've been hearing about all this SaaS in the high level community. It's piqued your interest, but you're confused about how that would work with what you're doing now. So Paulson and I talk a lot about this, right? There's a complete pivot. There's a hybrid model. But this is where we're going to cover those things. And Paulson, I'm sure you can add here. I think it really helps a lot of folks that have the same questions. We hear them over and over again. And this is the session that really sort of solidifies all that for those types of folks.
Yeah. And what I love about this is that, like, if you haven't met all of us and the founders and everyone, like, we don't act like we have all the answers, right? So there's multiple ways to skin this cat of software. There's a SaaS model, there is a hybrid model, there's a SaaS only model, there's a high ticket model, low ticket model. But if you get in the right room with the folks that are in the similar journey, you can connect with them and you learn from people that are sitting next to you, not just off the stage. And I think that's what I really like about the mastermind is, yes, we can pivot one way or another, understand different models, but you can get a lot of insights from practical application. Chase, can we do a quick temperature room check? Can I get a 1 in the chat? If you're an agency and you have not done any SaaS just yet, but you're really like, you're interested, you don't know how to get started, give me a 1 in the chat if you're really just focused on the agency side of your business. And give me a 2 in the chat if you've already started SaaS and you got a couple of clients, or maybe you're getting ready to launch your offer and you're all in on SaaS. Give me a 2 in the chat if you're all in on SaaS. Give me a 1 again if you're a marketing agency interested in SaaS.
A lot of 1s. Cool. So this will be a great set. Okay, here come the 2s. So this will be a great session. And, I should point out, rest assured, like, all 3 of our backgrounds are agency space, right? Like, we've all had clients, thousands of clients between the 3 of us. So we know that model and we know the new model. And so there's, a lot to talk about there, and we'll cover it all at the mastermind, specifically in this session. Looks like a nice mix.
Yeah. So I was getting ready to say it's a mix.
Awesome. So let's talk about what else we're going to learn. The offer. I love this session. We have this great, and sort of two metaphors that we use internally: tip of the spear, Trojan horse. But once you wrap your head around it, I feel like people come out of this session ready to go, right? They have high level does a million things, but we really narrow it down to a set of maybe 10 or less that really become your core offer. We call those the Trojans. They're sort of your secret weapon, right? And so once they get behind the gates is when you really solidify clients. And so we start with, hey, let's understand what's inside of our Trojan horse. What is that core offer? And then in a minute, we'll talk about how we kind of break through the wall. But I think people love this session because it's like, I'm so confused. High level does a million things. I don't even feel like I know what it all does. And rest assured, not many of us do anymore, right? There's so many features. And this really brings clarity of like, hey, this is the offer that's proven in the market, and here's how you can just take it and run with it.
And Chase, I think I shared with you a little bit about the college student that attended the last June mastermind. And if you're okay with that, I'll kind of share that story a little bit here. But
of course,
so it was really kind of a cool story. And people are all different parts of their journey, as mentioned. Last summer, we had a college student that attended. Is going into a senior year of college here in Texas, and attended in June and was doing about $100 a month recurring. So really, really new on the journey, and really just if you look at everything learned there and just taking a very simple approach as we teach. Spoke to him on Tuesday, this just a few days ago, and he's over 10,000 a month recurring.
Oh, wow.
Already. And he should be at 12,000 a month recurring by the end of this month. And he's actually said that he's not going to take on any more clients because he's trying to graduate. He hasn't even yet.
I told Rusty when I heard that, I can't even imagine what college would have been like if I had recurring revenue coming in.
But it just kind of shows you when you have a blueprint and you have everything kind of, the smoke cleared a little bit, and you get some focus and you kind of know, have a plan rolling forward, what's possible in a relatively short period of time. And it'd be great to have him come back for this one, but he'll be in class. Right.
I know. I think we still need to phone him in somehow or something. Maybe he'll be in the quad, like giving us a quick update. But absolutely. And that's the point of it, right? Like this wheel does not need to be reinvented. There are competitors out there proving this model, but with high level, we have the opportunity to make it our own through the white label. And that's really, I think, the power. And in this session, you'll get real clarity as far as what your offer could be if you just want to pick up something that's proven and run with it.
And Chase, before we go any further, can you clarify what a Trojan horse is? Like, what is a Trojan horse? Because even if you don't come to the mastermind, I would love everybody to understand the power of Trojan horse real quick.
Sure. I suppose we weren't all English majors like I was, but a pretty common phrase, right? Trojan horse is basically this giant wooden horse showed up at the gates of this let's say castle. And they thought it was a gift, so they opened the gates, they let it in, and the thing was full of the enemy warriors, and they all jumped out and ransacked the city. Now that's very negative, but it's a good metaphor for the way that we like to sell, right? Because we'll talk about that in a minute. We don't try to describe everything that high level does. That's a recipe for disaster. We go with this really focused Trojan horse approach where one thing, it's a horse. That's what we talk about at the front door. And then once we're past the front door, we set up some other stuff.
Yeah. In other words, don't lead with multiple features as a SaaSpreneur. And we teach you which Trojan horse is going to actually resonate with your market and the price points, the marketing strategies, the sales strategies. And we'll also bring in experts that have already implemented those strategies as well. So you get to learn at least, a few different ones that you can just get started as soon as you're done with the mastermind.
For sure. So throughout the mastermind, we have hands-on breakout sessions, which are great, right? So you take what you literally just heard from the stage and you get your hands on your keyboard and you start implementing there with us amongst your peers in the room. And so different points of the event will have these. So it's not like you're going to be sitting there taking notes for 3 straight days and then you got to go figure it out on your own. No, we want you to actually start implementing while you're there. In the surroundings of us and your peers. So again, technical help, we got you. Open office hours are there to go. Questions from people who are maybe a little further ahead, you got it. They're going to be there in the room. Questions for high level, we're there as well. So the breakout sessions are some of my favorite parts to see people actually make steps forward during the event. We also have guest speakers throughout the event. Now, we'll always have one. Sometimes we have two. It depends on, the timing and whatnot. So we can't quite announce who the guest speaker is, but they're going to be fantastic. And there's a possibility that we'll have a second speaker as well. And if we can get them, it'll be a real treat because they're both fantastic folks. But you can see some of the past speakers here. If you know Rob Bailey, you know that I totally have his permission to use this photo when I added it to the deck. He's awesome. All the people that we've had so far absolutely crushed it. Again, they come from our industry. They're working with SaaSPRENEURs every day. So it's not like, a big conference where you might be listening to somebody who's just there to speak, right? These are not professional speakers, quote unquote. These are folks from our ecosystem working with SaaSPRENEURs every day who have practical insights to share with you from the stage. You guys want to add anything to the speaker lineup that we've had in the past?
I think the key part is it is from the ecosystem. These are ones that are actually doing it. And so, whether it's, Julie, who scaled in 2.5 years from 0 to 12, 13, 1,400 users as a SaaS, pure SaaS, or, Alex Walensky, all about teaching the nuances of sales to try to make sure people can get their first customers. I think that's one of the real values to the speakers that we have is that they are ones that are actually doing it. And it's been really, really impactful, I think.
Yeah, and I think the biggest takeaway for me, if you by the way, we're about 25 minutes into this. By the end of this call, the tickets might be sold out. There's only like 120 plus tickets. We've got 60,000 agents.
110.
So
120, yeah.
There you go. Sorry, I didn't mean to add 10 extra, but it's a small amount of tickets that we have. So stay through this entire session. We're going to release the link in a little bit so you can actually sign up. But going back to the speakers, what I love about the speakers and the type of people we have in there, this is not a energy drink event. If you're coming there to get motivated, this is not it. If you're coming there for mindset stuff, this is not it, because we talk about practical things that we can implement right away with folks that are actually in the trenches building businesses. And that's what I love about guys like Josh Nelson, Julie Chanel, Rob, Alex Walensky. They teach from what they're actually building versus a lot of, motivational talk. You're not going to get that. You want to, that's not the type of event this is. That you're going to learn a lot. We're going to have worksheets. We're going to have, homeworks and practices and different ways to do things and snapshots. You really get your hands, into the trenches of building this thing out. And that's what I love about the speakers. And I know the 2-3 candidates we have now, and they're very similarly aligned to the previous speakers we've had.
Yeah, absolutely. They're going to be fantastic. You guys are going to love them for sure. Then we go into, this is generally sort of day 2, and we'll show you sort of a loose day breakout towards the end of this deck. But we go into sales and prospecting. So the sales session is great, right? We learn the Trojan horse strategy, but literally the things to say, which horse to pick, how to have those conversations, structure those sales calls. If you're like me, not traditionally a sales guy, shy away from sales, you're going to come out of this session more confident than you ever were that you could hop on the phone and actually close a client. It's tried and true. Paulson works really closely with, he runs our 5-day challenge. So, he's teaching this all day long of, hey, here are the horses. Here's how we choose the horse that we're going to use on this call. Here's what we say on this call to get the deal done. So I think this is a big one for folks. A lot to take away from the sales session for sure.
Yeah, I'm kind of opposite to Chase in a lot of the just instincts and things like that. I'm a sales guy. I love sales. All the tech stuff and workflows, I usually get scared, and that's Chase's like strong point. And that's the same type of people you'll meet at the mastermind. You might be able to find business partners. You might be able to find safe houses of relationships that you can build businesses with. So there's something for everybody. Even if you're sales oriented versus tech oriented, we're going to essentially level you up on all different fronts.
Yeah, good call. So from there, we're going to go into prospecting. So we'll teach you how to sell, and then we'll teach you how to find the folks that you're going to sell to. And this is just as important, right? This is going to be a great session. We've got our prospecting tool has made huge advancements since the last mastermind. So we're going to dig into that. We're going to teach you both how to go from 0 to 5 or 10 if you're literally just getting started, but we're also going to talk about how to scale beyond when it is time to go cold, right? You've gone through your personal network, the low-hanging fruit is dried up, and now it's time to get out there. We're going to teach you how to do that as well, what to look for, right? The prospecting tool is going to help us pinpoint at opportunities, and then again, pick the right horse off the shelf for that opportunity. And so prospecting and sales, they really go hand in hand, but these two talks are really powerful. And I think people take a lot away from both of those. Anything to add about prospecting?
I think this is the key. This is the key, obviously, is that you have a warm market, but at some point in time, you need to have a plan and a strategy to be able to go beyond that warm market. And I think this is a very important session. And I think the way we'll go through this is going to be make a significant difference in some people's businesses.
Awesome. I see a lot of good questions in the chat, which we'll get to in a few, but let's take a look at Andy. So Andy was at one of our events, and I ran into him at a different event, and he was like, I just got to tell you, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, wait, man, let me turn on my camera real quick. So I pulled out my phone, I recorded this, and I thought it was worth sharing because
can someone tag Andrew Brockenbush? Can somebody tag him in the comments for us?
He's a great guy. It's been really fun getting to know him.
Hey, what's going on, guys? My name's Andrew with BB Marketing. Our SaaS offering is called Wingman because every business needs a wingman. We got a chance to go out to the Mastermind SaaSPRENEUR event a few months back in Dallas, had an absolutely good time, learned a lot, made a lot of great friends. But one of the things I really wanted to talk about was the fact that there was a product that was created specifically for you to go out and teach at local events, specifically your chamber, maybe your BNI groups. We actually did it for the Texas Association of Auctioneers, actually. It was a lot of fun. And we were able to go in, customize this curriculum inside of Canva, make it unique to us, teach the program. We're able to get a lot of interest, 66 people actually who enrolled into our sequence through our automation. And out of that, we had 5 to 10 people who actually signed up for our SaaS offering. We sold some other services sides too. So if you guys are looking to level it up, if you're looking to get involved in those local events, I would highly recommend you check it out, especially if you're at that SaaS level, of high level. If you're not, hey, use my affiliate link or just check it out. It's really amazing. And if you go into the academy, I believe it's in there, and you can get that local snapshot, and it has access to all of those files. It's really cool. Check it out.
Awesome. I love that. I mean, he points out that, not only are we hands-on, but we're arming you with the tools, right? We're literally going to go through a presentation that's in Canva for you to customize that you can roll up to any chamber meeting or BNI meeting and really wow them with things they've never seen or heard before. And you heard it from him. I think he ended up with 5 or 6 actual clients from that one talk. So some good stuff that we both cover and give away. And at this event, we'll have some new stuff to give away too. So excited about some new goodies as well. Oh,
hey, what's going on, guys?
Seems like they always play twice.
Yeah.
As mentioned, we've got the office hours. So if you need help, technical help from our team, they're there for you. We'll also have the swag store. So if you want to get geared out, we'll have high-level swag there, SaaSPRENEUR swag there, some fun stuff that you can pick up. And nice. So yeah, the team is on staff. You just pop in anytime during the event and you can hang out.
I think this is actually a really important, if you want to go back to that real fast.
Yeah.
This is something I heard a lot about from the last mastermind, the ability to just take your computer, go sit down with somebody and say, hey, this is my problem. This is what I'm trying to do, and have them spend the time to walk through it with you, side by side, doing it together, making sure at the end of that you have exactly what you wanted. Whether it's an automation that's not firing the way you want it to do, or whatever's happening, it's that ability, as you can see here in some of these photos, to sit down and actually go hand in hand, side by side, to make sure it's working exactly how you want it. I think this alone, is a really, really important part of it. Plus, the swag store is always fun.
Yeah. Could be worth the price of admission, this alone, just to get to sit down with the team and say, hey, can't figure this out.
Yeah, from a scheduling standpoint as well, the office hours are really valuable, because sometimes even before the event starts, there might be an hour and a half or 45 minutes that you can just jump in and talk to one of our support engineers or whoever that you may have want to run an idea by, or even throughout our breakout sessions. Or maybe sometimes some folks like skip a certain activity so they can talk to somebody in office hours. So you will have plenty of time where you can schedule this in. They do appointments in the past. Sometimes they do walk-ins. We haven't decided what kind of format we will have depending on the amount of people, but this is really, really useful for a lot of people.
Totally. Shout out to everybody that hangs out in the office room from the team, the unsung heroes that are in there getting it done for everybody. We'll talk about onboarding. So, we'll talk how to find clients, how to close the clients. Well, what about how to get them going? We'll cover that. We'll have a session on that. We've got a checklist that we'll walk through to make sure that you feel confident in the steps of what you should be doing when you actually get people putting in their credit cards. And as I mentioned, we'll tease a new little gift that we should have ready for you by February. That's going to be pretty exciting, that I think people are going to love. We also have really amazing access to the founders. I don't know if all three are going to be at the mastermind, but we'll definitely have at least two of the three. And throughout the event, they're really there and really involved. So we'll have Q&As with them. We do roadmap sessions with them. And then you get to hang out with them just socially, right? At all the different happy hours or mixers or whatever we have planned, you'll get to sit down, and they are there for you, right? They want your feedback. They want your opinions. They want to hear, what you want to see in the app, where you are in your journey. They're super receptive to that. You'll see them literally sitting down with everybody, hanging out. And so again, that might be worth the price of admission, right?
At the one in last year, I saw someone sitting down with Varun, basically showing them what they wanted built in the app. And so it's just that ability to kind of sit down and show them and what they're trying to accomplish. And hey, this would be cool if this was in the app, and if we could make this easier. That's part of the value of having more of that intimate setting. So I think this is a really, really cool part of the whole program.
Absolutely. I mean, you'll see Sean in the breakout room, like literally helping somebody build a workflow at some point. So it's pretty phenomenal. It's pretty cool. And yeah, bring your questions, any burning questions that you've had about the future of high level, like could be anything. They'll be up for answering that from the stage and at the bar with you as well while we share drinks. We finish it off with the graduation ceremony, which is awesome. You'll get your official SaaSPRENEUR certificate. We'll get you up on stage for a photo with the co-founders. It's a good time. We have a blast sort of celebrating everybody's success. It's sort of the culminating event at the end where we all unwind and go back over what we learned over the past 3 days together. It's always fun to see everybody walk across the stage, right, guys?
Oh, yeah. It's a kind of a cool celebration moment. So
as cheesy as it is sometimes, it's something it's like a fun part of the entire event. People take a bunch of pictures. I've even seen some folks run ads with those pictures from a marketing standpoint. We had one gentleman, I think in the first one, that said, hey, I've never graduated high school or college. This is my first time actually walking on stage, grabbing something related to a graduation. So for some folks, it's very meaningful, and we didn't think of it like that, but it was exciting to see that the crowd was, really loving it. And it's a fun time. It really is.
Yeah, it is. It's a good celebration. And there's a lot more that we're not covering in this deck, right? Just the little things as we go through daily Q&A. So there's always opportunities to ask questions about what we heard that day. again, the meals and the drinks are incredible. The staff and the Statler does an incredible job with the food and the drinks, so that we're always, well fed. Try not to be overserved, although I've seen it happen a time or two. The evening activities are always a blast. Like I said, the what's it called? Scout, the restaurant bar that's on the downstairs of the venue, is super fun. We usually end up hanging down there. If you're feeling adventurous, you might sneak down to the speakeasy for a late one at the end of the evening. Guided networking. This is really what it's all about, to be honest. Like, you're going to take a lot away from the stage, but I think what people always tell me the most is it's the people that they met, right? There's a high probability you're going to walk out with a new employee, a new partner, a new vendor, somebody that you're going to connect with and work with in some capacity after the event. And I think that's really the serendipity of the people in the room is definitely worth the price of admission.
Well, there's a saying, Chase, that says, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go with someone. Mm-hmm. Right. And I think it's this networking part of it that really can help propel someone forward, right? Because they'll find people that are ahead of them, even if they're relatively new, like the college student earlier, right? They'll find people, most people will be ahead of them, but they'll find people that are just like them, that are just starting out, that are relatively new in their journey. They can become accountability partners. They can become business partners. They can bounce ideas off of each other. They may learn something that they're thinking of doing that somebody else just tried that and it didn't work. Mm-hmm. So I think for me, anytime you attend an event, I really try to make sure who's the one person that you can meet that literally, forget what you learn or whatever it is, one person that can really make a change on your life, on your business. I think this is a huge part of it. And the reason why it's guided networking is because there are open networking opportunities, but also we'll do things ourselves where we'll say at your table, at your group, we really try to make sure we lean into the networking opportunities.
Yeah. Another thing I think, I don't know, Chase, if you're going to mention this or as part of the slides that I'm just thinking about is we take a little bit of pride that there's not going to be a lot of other external vendors and sponsors quite often at an event like this, because we want to keep it intimate. I'm going to be frank with y'all. This is not a moneymaker for us. We want to make sure we bring all of you all together as a family so we can teach you and make sure your business is scaling. So I'm proud to say it's not going to be a pitch fest. You're not going to be pitched to go into SaaS mode and all these different things or whatever. Like, we just want to just get to know you, meet with you, give you the opportunity to network. And that's another reason why we keep this small. Of course, we can run a big event and create a big mastermind, but we want to go small just to keep that intimacy alive among entrepreneurs.
Yeah, it's hard to stress, right? Unless you've done it. And I think just looking around, you see the connections, right? Like Paulson and Robin and Billie Jean were in a group together way back in the day, and look at where that ended up, right? I think the serendipity of going to events like these can change your future in ways that you can't even imagine. And we see it happen every time. Don't just take our word for it. Let's hear from some of the folks that have been to the events in the past.
That's Jeff.
When I heard about the mastermind, I signed up immediately.
I met so many amazing people at this event.
There's an incredible amount of people here that are just so giving and willing to share what they're doing that's working and what's not working. And
they know what they're talking about, and those education resources can help you scale in a really big way.
The attention to detail they have on this mastermind is unmatched.
I'm happy to pay just to be in the proximity of these guys because they're doing incredible things. And no matter what happens, I'm always learning. I've already learned so much just from being here.
When I realized I could offer a whole world of software service to a different client without having to do all the work, it's like blew my mind.
Anytime you raise your hand, there are like 5 people in queue to answer your questions.
Learning as much as you can from all the big hitters in this space.
Listening to the founders and their vision of how they built the company. There's nobody else doing this the way they're doing it.
Being able to figure this out with the team, work together, it's magic and remarkable.
The moment you become a SaaSpreneur, you will never look back.
SaaSpreneurship and the opportunities that High Level are providing you are not just beneficial to you. it is beneficial and extremely impactful to the clients that you serve, even in the simplest format.
Just go for it, because you're missing out. You're missing the potential of you growing your business and getting that residual money that comes with a SaaS benefit.
If someone's on fence for becoming a SaaSpreneur, I would say jump in.
Really the infrastructure and the knowledge of how to go about being a SaaSpreneur in a step-by-step manner, it kind of takes away the fogginess or any cloudiness I had coming into the event. Now leaving, I'm clear for the day of exactly what needs to be done.
And those are not the dates.
When I heard about the mastermind,
so to reiterate, the dates are in February. We'll put them up on the screen again in a second, but hopefully you got a sense from the horse's mouth as to what you're going to experience and the value that you're going to take away. I think clarity is something I kept hearing, that is the goal, right? Is for us to provide clarity, surround you with the support that you're going to need to get from 0 to 10, and then from 10 to 100 when you'll be walking across the stage at the big event next September, November, whenever the date will be. So to reiterate, you should walk away from this event knowing that your tech is ready to rock solid. You're ready to walk out the door and start taking credit cards. You're going to completely understand the opportunity that SaaSpreneurship provides. Again, king of all business models, and here it is at our fingertips. You're going to have a market-proven blueprint. That includes prospecting and sales training, scripts. You're going to know how to find clients, how to close clients, and you're going to walk out of here with a new network of friends and fellow SaaSpreneurs to share and help each other through the journey. It really is a special, intimate event. Here's sort of what it looks like broken out across the 3 days. Again, daily Q&As across the way, daily hands-on activities across the way, so that you're going to be digging in, taking steps forward as we go across the 3 days. And here's what's going to get you there. So,
Chase, one thing though, back on to what you're going to get if you go back there, the one thing you didn't really touch on, but I think it's important for everybody to know, is about the snapshots and the other kind of, if you want to share some of those finer details as well, I think those are important.
Yeah, absolutely. So, we all know the power of snapshots, and we're going to stuff it full of things that are going to sort of be a shortcut to success. So don't think, oh, I'm going to have to invent this whole business and build a website and all that kind of stuff. Like, we'll have it ready for you if you don't have it already. And literally, like, things in Canva that you can customize in a couple of minutes and be ready to roll out the door and go close clients. Like, that is the goal. Anything that we can provide for you, we want to provide that for you. And these events are how we make that happen, honestly. Like, every time we learn new things of like, oh, yeah, wait, we haven't heard that before, but we could totally get that done or make that thing. And so each one of these is sort of more and new gifts that we can pass on to just make the journey easier and easier.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure we talked about that, because I think that's an important part of it. So, yeah, so as we mentioned, there is limited spacing that we get there. We do keep it small. So we have had some tickets that have already been, somehow people found the link and they started buying tickets. So we do encourage you to, if there's something you're going to attend, to jump on it. There are limited number of, you do want to stay in the hotel if possible. There are a limited number of rooms, hotel blocks that are at our discounted rate. Once you get your ticket, we'll end up following up with you in the next few weeks to make sure you get that discount code so you can be in the hotel at the cheaper rate. But like I said, there are a limited number. We're about 110-ish is the number that we'll have. And you can see everything here from day 1, day 2, day 3. How this will work will be day 1, we'll start checking in around 11. Just so everybody understands how this flows. So we'll start checking in around 11, and then from 11 to 1, it's some open networking. You're free to go get lunch on your own. We will have some snacks and some refreshments that we provide to help foster that networking opportunity and just meet and greet. And then we'll start promptly at 1 o'clock, and we'll go straight through the rest of the day on day 1. So that gives you the opportunity, if you want to fly in on the 7th, so that you can fly in that morning. Go through the day on the 7th. We'll have evening activity that night. We want to make sure we want to create a unique experience as well, right? So it's not only about learning and building your business, but it's also about the people you meet and the experiences you build along the way. So we'll provide an experience that evening, some sort of activity or a good time that night. And then on the 8th, we'll start bright and early in the morning, and we'll go all day on the 8th through that evening. And then once again, that evening we'll have some sort of activity that evening, food. All the food and refreshments and all those items are included throughout these 3 days. And then on the 9th, we'll start bright and early in the morning, and we'll go through about 2 o'clock on that day, and we'll finish. And as long as you schedule your flights where you're leaving the hotel after about 3, you'll be fine. So we try to pack a lot in over these few days to make it as meaningful and as impactful as possible. But we also want to try to make sure that you can fly in and fly out in a reasonable amount of time as well.
I'm seeing some good questions here. Some folks that already got their tickets. We should say, yeah, I think 110 was the total, but we're probably under 100 already because people did find the link. There were a couple.
True. Yeah. Correct. Yeah. In the room itself, and as you probably noticed when you looked at some of those pictures, that everyone's it's not a big ballroom, and it's in one of the smaller breakout rooms that we have, so that it's more intimate. You're able to have Q&As within the room. So that room has capacity for about 110. Like I said, we did have about, I think it was 15 tickets. Somehow people found the link and were sold. So we're under 100 that are available.
And if you want 2 or more than 2, you just reload the page and do it again, right?
Yes, correct.
I would say use incognito mode if you have to the second time.
And the tickets are not resellable or transferable. If you do need to buy one and you're going to transfer it to somebody else that works with you, we can talk about that. But the idea is not to try to buy tickets and resell them on the open market.
Guys, can we also talk about what's not included? So $997 does not include obviously a hotel room, right? And are there other hotels in the area? What if Statler is not affordable for me? Are there, what are my options? Can you share a little bit about that?
Well, there are a lot of hotels around the area, literally less than half a mile. You'll have a plethora to choose from. And it's an interesting hotel, as Chase was talking about at the beginning, where half of the hotel is actually apartments, and people will do Airbnb and stay in those. So there's a lot of opportunities around there if you don't want to stay in the Statler.
Awesome.
Absolutely. People are asking, so I don't know if we know how many of these we'll do next year. Last year, we only did 2. So we did 2 masterminds on our summit. So if you're on the fence and you think you want to come, I would make it happen. They do sell out quickly. They're smaller events. So I wouldn't bank on too many future events. I know the schedule gets kind of crazy and we can't really do more than 1 or 2.
And it's also the reason why we like to do this at the beginning of the year is it's a way to start your new year, right? It's a way to make 2024 your year. It's a way to really kick off the year with a bang, with the new network of individuals that you build, your new community that you form. I remember at the last one, they created their own private Facebook group for just those that attended that mastermind. And so for them specifically as a group to work together, right? For them as a group to encourage each other. So, it's a good time of year because it's a way to get the ball rolling early.
That's a great point. That's a great point, Wesley. This is considered to be a jumpstart event in the community. Like this is a jumpstart event, especially the February one.
It also gives you plenty of time to ramp up for our October summit to win an award.
Absolutely. I think, we're heading into the end of this year, right? I see a lot of folks asking about some of the stuff like the Canva presentation, all that. A lot of it is in the local hero course. If you don't have access to that, reach out to us. We'll get you access. You can start and head into the mastermind with a head start. The mastermind is a great way to sort of solidify what you learn on your own. And again, get tech support with anything that you need tech support on, and really make 2024 your kickoff to your SaaS career, really. Again, like so many of the people in those videos, I was just watching it, like they were on stage, that like walking across the stage, getting their 100 or platinum award, which is what, over 500 SaaSpreneurs. So, you know, I don't know how many different ways we could say it. We got college kids going from 0 to 10K recurring in like I said, 6 months,
which is not normal, right? But
it can be.
We probably would have to do some sort of disclaimer in here somewhere along the way.
Obviously, yeah, nothing's guaranteed, but you're going to learn the strategy, the mentality, the skills. You'll have the guides, the scripts to make that happen. So, you know, if you're serious about getting going with your SaaS, this is the event over the summit for sure. Like the mastermind is where you need to be. Somebody, yeah, put it on your Santa list. Although he might have to come early because it'll last till Christmas. I saw somebody saying it was their wedding anniversary. Don't break up your marriage, but you know, if you can get clearance from your spouse.
So Chase and Wesley, can you guys both talk a little bit about how to maximize an event like this? Because I see a few people already started purchasing, and I just want to speak to those folks of like, how do you maximize an event? Should they come in maybe a day early, network with everybody, stay later? Like, what are ways that you both recommend maximizing events in general for entrepreneurship?
I would get active in our Facebook group. So if you've got your ticket, I would start connecting with people right away in the group. Hey, who's coming? I got my ticket. I've seen especially folks that fly in internationally link up beforehand and come in a couple of days early and explore Dallas. Maybe stop by our office and say hi. You know, we're happy to give like I said, one of the first times I was in Dallas, the guys took me to this unbelievable barbecue place that was like life-changing, I would say. So it might not be a bad idea to come in a day early or stay a day late. And if you can link up with other folks who are getting tickets in our Facebook group, I would definitely recommend doing so, because you guys can maybe get an Airbnb together, or at least, you know, plan some day trips or some things to do together for sure.
And go ahead.
I'm really big on any type, as I mentioned before, any type I attend an event, I'm always just focused on what's one thing, because you can get paralysis of analysis where you get so much information coming at you. You can get so much information coming at you that you can, in essence, you know, just be stuck because you're frozen just trying to assess what do you do. And so that has always been my approach, is to figure out what is that one thing that I can implement that's going to make a difference, that pays for the entire event, right? What's the one thing that I can implement that'll make hotel, flight, everything just where that's at a minimum cost neutral. And then the other thing, as I mentioned before, is I think the networking part of it has proven in my time to be more valuable than almost anything else, because you just never know who you're sitting next to, and you know, and what that person can do, and how they can impact your business, how they can impact your life. You just never really know. The world's pretty small sometimes.
And also, to add to that point, like if you're watching this streaming maybe on a re-recording or a replay on YouTube or any other channels we may have, don't make the assumption that you need to have a high-level account or you have to be even a customer to come to one of these events. And we actually had a few folks that came that weren't even using it at all, and they showed up and they're like, man, we just want to make sure y'all are real people. We just want to understand what this is all about, you know. And it was pretty cool seeing even non-customers come there and turn into customers, and they connected with a ton of people. I mean, can you imagine?
I remember a guy who was like, I've been paying for my account for 3 months. I've never logged in. I was just looking at my credit card bill about to cancel it, and I saw this mastermind thing, and I figured, I'll go, and one way or another, I'll know I'm canceling for sure, or I'm doubling down. And I'm fairly certain he was on the stage at the summit. So pretty cool story. We hear stories like that all the time. You guys, were you there that night at the summit? This guy was like, I was at an event and you and Sean were at the back of the room, and I ran back there and I said, I hate high level. I hate what you guys are doing, this, that, the other thing. And Sean was like, cool, whatever, man. Like, we're not for everyone. And I was like, well, wait a minute. And he's like, you and I talked for like 10 minutes. I gave it one more shot. And he was on the stage at the summit with over 100 SaaSpreneur clients. So it really can be the catalyst to a whole different world. And again, it is the king of business opportunities. So for me, it's like, if I were just a digital entrepreneur, like I just want to make money online somehow and have my own business, wholeheartedly, I can say that SaaSpreneurship is probably definitely the route that I would take. I don't want to say it's the easiest route, because obviously nothing's easy, but the mastermind is where you will learn how to start that journey, if that's the one that you want to go on.
And Chase, I just first of all want to congratulate a ton of you that already said yes to the mastermind. I'm seeing the tickets just come in, and it's really cool seeing, people take action. But I also want to speak to those that maybe this is not the first round for you. Maybe you can't afford it. Maybe it's too early. There's things that are happening in your business. It's not the right time. And if it isn't, it's okay. We have free programs out there like the SaaSPRENEUR Local Hero Playbook. We have the 5-day challenge. We have welcome courses. We have a bunch of different things. We have monthly workshops now. You could even watch a spotlight session and learn a few things. So don't feel pressured that you have to come to the event to even launch a SaaS. But there is something for everyone, even if today is not your time. Just so you all know, like, we're not good at all the sales stuff. We're not salesy enough to, push a mastermind ticket, but we're just trying to tell you what our experience is in general. We hear a lot of great things about it.
And the flip side to that is, I'll say I didn't go to a ton of events like this when I was building an agency, but I went to an Active Campaign event. And it's so funny, because I was just telling Wesley that we're going to sponsor an event in Maryland. And one of the guys I met there, who is a high leveler now, has a great restaurant there. I'm going to go. I've been saying for years, I got to come somehow, figure out how to get there and check out your restaurant. And now we're going to link up. And it's like, I forgot how we met. And he reminded me it was at that Active Campaign event. I was like, that's, that's how these things happen. And it's really just an amazing opportunity to broaden your horizons, meet people, start new relationships, start businesses, scale your business if you're already going. And it's definitely going to be a good time. We'll be there having a good time for sure. Let's see. Are there any other, we use StreamYard to do these cool banner things. Any other questions that we may have missed before we get out of here?
If you want to talk to like a live agent about any of these things, and maybe we might have missed a couple of points or something, feel free to go to, is it the consulting team or success team that
if they go to the mastermind.gohighlevel.com, there's a contact us form on that particular page if they have specific questions about the event itself.
And you can talk to a live agent there as well. It's not just a support.
It's not a live agent. They'll submit a ticket. It'll come in to people who are actually running the event.
Got it. Perfect. I just want to make sure that resource is there.
And you can also go to gohighlevel.com and hit the chat widget if you have other questions. There's a bunch of ways to get in touch with us. I see people asking about how to get into the 5-day challenge. Just reach out. We'll get you plugged in one way or another. You could hit the form on that page and we'll route you to the right person and get you going. But great point, Paulson. If it's not the right time, it's not the right time. No worries. But we have other courses and trainings and things that you can get into right now. But if you are ready to go and you're ready to go, then the mastermind, I would try to make it happen.
Well, and sometimes, the entrepreneur journey can be lonely sometimes. And it's that you're out there on your own. And as you can tell, I'm a big believer in the networking. I talk about that a lot, but I just know the impact it can have on people. So it's that opportunity to build your entrepreneur SaaS network.
I'm with you, Wesley. I think I feel like I'm right on this. I'm not sure, but I know there's two things that you for sure will develop as an entrepreneur. One is loneliness, and the other is like some kind of a ADHD where you're like a squirrel, right? And my wife totally tells me, Paulson, you don't listen to anything. And I really think it's because of the amount of things that we deal with as entrepreneurs. So this is a perfect opportunity for you to heal some of those things.
Awesome. Well, we have hit the hour, so I think it's time to wrap up. But thanks for hanging out with us, everyone. We're going to have a fantastic time in Dallas in February. Hopefully that you can make it, be there with us. If not, we'll see you in the community between now and then. We'll get you into any courses you're looking for. But hopefully we see you there in Dallas. Any final thoughts, guys?
See you there.
That's it. In case if you watch this, maybe like few days later, and for some reason the forms are not working, you can probably assume it got sold out. So, a week later, maybe 2 weeks later, if you're not able to buy something, it's probably because 110 tickets are out. I'm pretty sure we're probably well below that now. So jump on the ticket. I promise you, jump on it.
Michael, we will see you on the stage. I have no doubt. Hopefully we see you all in Dallas. Thanks for hanging out. If you need anything, just reach out. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.